Hey guys, this is just a quick little PSA. The echo ends at 5-minute mark. Sorry about it.
Sorry about it. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Craig,
Hi, I'm Kylee.
Hi, I'm Shandi.
and this is Seance with My Siblings.
Welcome to the Seance.
Haunted Italy edition.
Any ghost updates?
I keep saying that shadow in the bathroom, but that's it.
A shadow in the bathroom?
Like like a shadowy figure that was like lurking over the side of the wall in the bathroom that I talked about
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, I think. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lurky, shadowy boy.
I mentioned it like barely, yeah. The lurky one.
Mm-hmm. Bathroom lurkers.
Bathroom
Bathroom lurky
lurkers.
ghost.
They do be lurking.
They do be. All right, let's get this party. Or
I don't
actually, do you guys have a
No
ghost story?
I have a ghost update about Stella May.
Oh, that's right. It's a good one.
So Stella May is the haunted doll that the youngest sibling, Chantel, brought home from the thrift store. She decided that she didn't want a ghost watching her in her room all the time. And so Stella May is on visitation at Aunt Kylie's house.
That's funny.
I didn't notice anything the first night that she was there, but the second night I did see like an orb a couple of times, once in my bathroom and once in like my main kitchen dining area. And there's also been like, I see what Chantel was talking about. It feels like somebody is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like scary, like, oh no,
But it just feels like
there's
a present.
there's a presence.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm excited to meet Stella May.
Yes. Maybe that's what we'll do for our live, is we'll get all the dolls
All the haunted
together.
gals together.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
And someone could ask us what we would do for $100.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Not a lot.
Mhm.
Not really anything.
All right, let's go to Italy.
Let's go to Italy, you
Let's
guys. We are
go to
becoming quite the
Italia.
world travelers.
Woo.
Oh yeah. We have listeners from all over, which is amazing. Thank you guys.
We do. Thank you.
I think we've had like one person from
Even-
Italy listen.
Yeah, even Italy. Yeah.
Hello.
Howdy.
Buongiorno.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, okay, Craig.
I'm talking to you guys about the island Poveglia. That's the phonetical pronunciation. Did you guys know that one of the most haunted spots in Italy is located in Venice?
Ooh.
I know, it's crazy. Oh my god. Poveglia. An island consisting of 3 small islands is exactly that. Okay, so it consists of a group of 3 islands, but they're all called Poveglia, with 2 being naturally formed and the 3rd resembling Venice through the use of wooden pillars and layers of earth. There are 3 islands that make up Poveglia. One is made out of wooden pillars and layers of earth. One island is entirely vegetation. The other houses the main buildings, and finally, the smallest is an octagon, used as a small fort It's used as a small fort to protect the island and act as a fort before reaching Venice. You'll find Poveglia floating off the southwest end of Lido di Venezia. Today, the island only hosts a small few buildings on the main island, which is entirely abandoned. The island first welcomed inhabitants in the 7th century, and throughout the following years, it grew into a peaceful little community that avoided invasions and occurrings on the mainland. By avoiding the mainland, they also were lucky enough to avoid taxes. Woo! Creating
No
a very happy
taxes.
community. Woo! Which made for a happy community. They would often trade with nearby Palestrina, but mostly avoided the Italian peninsula. In the 14th century, the War of Chioggia, an extended conflict between the maritime republics of Genova and Venice, led to the abandonment of the island. The population has been relocated to the main part of the Venice, mainly on the island of Giudecca. It wasn't until the 18th century that it was put to use again as a storage location for the Republic of Venice. And the plague of Poveglia, subsequently in 1776, it came under the jurisdiction of the local public health office, initially serving as a form of customs control. It was later reported as a site of plague control.
Plague control?
Of like...
Did I hear that right? No, you said plague.
Yeah,
like
plague control.
Okay.
Like the plague.
Yes, like the plague.
The plague.
What? Okay.
In 1793, 2 ships who stopped for a check were noted to have several cases of the plague. So they brought the sickness. Woohoo! They were
That kills
forced to
people,
stop.
you guys.
That does kill people. You can't be bringing plague ships. So from them on, the boats were they were forced to stop there, obviously. And the island became a plague quarantine site, with Venice's other 2 quarantine islands of Lazaretto Nuevo and Lazarita Vecchio, both full. Patients were now sent here to Poveglia. Even after the plague had subsided, it maintained its role as a quarantine station for ships en route to Venice in the 20th century. It transformed into the site of psychiatric hospitals. Today, the island remains completely deserted and is governed only government owned, not governed only, it's government owned. However, there have been several endeavors to sell it to private owners. It's said that 50% of the island is made of human ash. At least with all the victims of the plague, the hospital didn't know how to get rid of the bodies, so they decided to burn them.
Oh,
While
shit.
this does sound I know. While this does sound reasonable, research shares a different story. The exact number differs, but it seems there were about 100,000 victims, and rather than being burned, they were left in plague pits. Which is worse.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and everybody's dead, and there's not enough healthy people to bury all the bodies that could still. I think couldn't they still spread the plague even in death?
I think so. Yeah, that's why they had to have them in a bunch of pits and also burn them, because they did burn them after they were in the plague pits, but they were in the plague pits for periods of time.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Now, let's talk about these pits. Some of the corpses would have large rocks placed in their mouths because some of the corpses were vampires.
Oh, okay. Sure they were.
They would be found with blood stains dripping from their mouths. Yep, exactly. But, yeah, they thought they were vampires, so they placed rocks in their mouth.
That's fair. They didn't know. They didn't know.
They didn't know. How could they have known?
They can't bite you if their mouth is full of rocks.
Surely.
Sound logic.
You can't be biting the other corpses with rocks in your mouth, which is funny. Okay. It's tough to say which version of the story is creepier, the 50% of ashes or burnt pits, or both. Regardless,
bad and
yeah, they're both awful. They both also happen, maybe not the 50%, but okay. Regardless of how the bodies were disposed of, tens of thousands of individuals lost their lives on the island and were left there. The psychiatric hospital era had a director of the asylum who went crazy and jumped off the clock tower. But according to legend, it wasn't the jump that caused his death, it was a mysterious fog. The doctor was known for being mad and for doing experiments on patients, including several lobotomies, obviously. So that's just all that there really was about the doctor and really the asylum of ghostly encounters anyway. Another Poveglia legend tells us that the patients of the psychiatric hospital would see the ghosts and of the plague and feel even more tortured by the visions.
Now I'm just thinking about the plague ghosts and the show ghosts, the
Mm,
basement
Yeah.
ghosts, and their
Yeah.
deep knowledge of the water heater.
So, whether due to the horrors of the plague, the battles of Venice and Napoleon, that Napoleon conducted on and around the island, or even the passage of time spent in the mental hospital, seeing the abandoned land and destroyed structures, you can't help but feel the weight of the patients who live there and contemplate the sad stories of the island. The island is left to, like, it's only there was once the ancient San Vital church that was left on the island. However, it was destroyed when Napoleon Bonaparte passed through. Today, only the bell tower remains. Thankfully, this ancient structure was saved due to its useful function as a lighthouse. The clock dates back to 1745. So those are like the main structures.
Interesting.
Yeah. Pretty much
Mhm.
everything is like in ruins
Oh,
on the
Yeah,
island.
it's all ruined. Yeah.
I can see
Mhm.
why.
Mhm.
Zach and the crew went there and did
Yeah,
some
they did. They
shenanigans.
surely did.
Man, I wish I had Zach Baggins' paranormal money so that I could go do
Same.
shenanigans places.
Same. That would be ideal.
I do respect his game and how he has turned the paranormal into his full-time, very well-paying gig. That
Mhm.
is the end of the respect. Gotta give people a show.
Mhm. That was from walksofitaly.com, just by the way, the source.
Good job.
And I
Sources.
have a couple, sources. I have a couple ghost stories from Italy, not specifically from the island though. The first one is a forest encounter by Arctic Piggy from Italy in 2018. And the paranormal category is non-human entities.
Ooh, spooky.
Spooky. Ooh, okay. My grandparents used to rent a house in a little mountain village for 3 months in the summer, and I used to go there every summer since I was 5, until I was 14 with my sister, which is 7 years apart from me. And my cousin, which is 3 years younger than me, I really liked my time there, so when I grew up older into passion for the mountains, they stuck with me. I am now 26, and every summer I go hiking with my boyfriend. The trails we use to hike are sometimes very stiff, and it's just the two of us. Surrounded by mountains, the silence that covers everything. Sometimes we even camp halfway if the climb is too long. One day we were climbing one time we were climbing a difficult trail. They didn't. Okay. One near a lake in Italy, and I finished first, so I was waiting for my boyfriend at the end of the path at the top of that mountain. It was beautiful there. Butterflies flew on the flowers, and birds were chirping happily. I could see the whole lake surrounded by the forest. I like to sit in the silence of the mountain and watch the stunning view of the lake and watch the animals around living their lives. It's relaxing. I was sitting there on a rock and I didn't know how, but I felt something was in the woods behind me. Behind me there was a precipice.
Precipice?
Precipice, yes. Not very deep though, and the forest would cover to the end of it, and oh my gosh, and all around. I stood up and tried to see if there was something down there. That's when I saw it. I still get shivers when I think about it. Deep down there was a chamois, a beautiful one with long horns. Chamois? Yeah.
Spell it.
Chamois.
CHAMOIS.
OIS. Mhm.
We're doing a Google.
Yes.
CHAM. This animal. Oh,
Oh, they're cute.
It is
It's like a cross between a goat and a deer.
and throw some yak in there.
And some yak. Yeah, they're very
Mhm.
They are adorable, and their little
Cute little
horns are
babies.
very adorable.
cute. Okay. I learned about a new animal today.
Hell yeah.
How fun.
Mm-mm-mm.
Not what a chamois was.
I got excited because I rarely see one, as she should, because that's a cute little baby. I was looking at him from behind. His fur was light brown and had a black line that went from the neck to the tail, but something was very wrong. That's when I froze. His front legs looked like they didn't end with a normal cloven hoof, but he had 3 fingers.
Ooh.
I think
Mhm.
they don't have fingies
I
typically.
also do not think that they should have a fingers
I saw their
on
little
his front
hoogie hooves.
legos.
That's
Similar to a bird claw, is what they say.
oh, okay,
Is
like
what it
a
looked like.
3D
Like
pronged
it was yeah, ooh, gross.
Hmm.
hmm But it wasn't like sharp like a bird claw. It was just like fingers. Gross.
Okay.
Okay. The back legs seemed normal. I could see it because it was walking very slowly and calmly through the vegetation. Then I noticed with great horror that his face seemed flat. No muzzle. I couldn't look at him directly in the face, but I couldn't see his forehead and nose. What should have been there just wasn't. Thinking about it now, I really wished I had seen his face just to see how the eyes and mouth were organized. He disappeared in the pines' shadow, and I was still there shocked when my boyfriend finally arrived. I told him what I had saw, and he didn't believe me. He laughed. I knew it wasn't scary, and it could even be funny if you think about it. Camois with equal legs and flat face, I thought.
It's almost like it didn't want them to see like what
mhm.
it
Face.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must have been dreaming, even dreaming it. Even if I would, oh my god, even if I would love to know that I wasn't the only one to see that thing, I like to think it was a deity that took the form of a camois. There wasn't any village at the mountain's feet, so I couldn't ask if someone saw that too, or if someone knew of what the weird animal living there was. Okay. And then she just ended it there.
Okay.
The end.
The
Yeah,
end.
the end. Period. All right.
Nice.
That is all I have for y'all.
Can I add a couple of notes on Poveglia?
Yes.
Because I was actually going to do this one, and then I switcherooed. So I listened to a podcast called Avery After Dark, and she did a whole little segment on Poveglia Island. There was actually a family that lived there at one point, and they had a daughter that was like super terrorized by whatever entities are living on the island, to the point where she was being like scratched, and it was like a pretty intense haunting, so they left. And then a lot of the like hauntings, people will hear like screaming, especially after dark. And they attribute that to like the plague victims. And the doctor will also be seen like wandering the clock tower area, and he will like open his mouth like uncomfortably wide and like scream in people's faces, I guess.
That's
Gross.
fucked up.
So it's a pretty spooky place to be. And also, I discovered Avery After Dark doing research for this. It's actually a good podcast. Go listen to her.
I watch her on the YouTube. She is very fetching.
Yes.
She's quite lovely.
Oh.
Shout out, I
Right.
guess. Free publicity.
Yep. Yeah. And get lots of followers now.
But yeah, it's a spooky place.
It sounds super, super spooky.
And if you like try to break onto the island,
Oh, is it? You can't go
you
there
can't
now?
go there unless you have
okay.
special permission.
Oh,
And you have to get like book a special boat to go out.
okay. So it's very regimented.
Yes, because it's super dangerous, first of all, because
Oh.
it's like a lot of ruins, but it's also
Mhm.
private property.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Hey, let's not trespass.
Yes.
Nope.
You might get angry men with guns.
Yeah.
That's not ever happened to me before, so don't worry about that.
Ooh.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It totally happened. Story for another day.
Woo!
Marilyn, you are wild in today.
She's
Marilyn.
all over the place. She was just eating Annabelle's hand and my keys, and
You guys-
every time you see the monitor like rattling,
She's
it's
like rubbing me.
she's very
She's-
silly.
Oh, she's so cute.
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, Craig.
Yeah.
Let's travel to Florence.
Let's do.
Oh my gosh, I literally just looked up just how to say this. Pensione Berchianti, now known as Hotel Burchianti, is often whispered about as one of Florence's most haunted places.
Ooh.
It began, cat in my face. It began life on Via del Giglio, number 6, in an 18th century palace owned by the Marquis Bartolini Salimbeni, before opening as a guest house in the early 1900s. The actual website said it was 1919. Run by the Burchianti sisters, it attracted well-to-do Swiss families and famous guests like Gabriele D'Annunzio. In 2001, the hotel quietly moved next door into a much older 14th century palazzo, Castiglioni, near Santa Maria Novella, bringing its antique Rococo furniture, carpets,
Rococo.
porcelain, and silverware with it. This place is absolutely stunning. Is it frescoes? Is that like paintings on the ceiling? The frescoes on the ceiling, chef's kiss. Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's also absolutely haunted. Absolutely. Guests and staff tell the stories of a ghostly maid who cleans rooms that were already spotless, an elderly woman rocking an empty chair, knitting,
I love that
and
for her.
children are heard laughing and skipping through dark, empty hallways. Some feel icy
Great.
breath on their skin. Others wake to the sound of footsteps. Others notice the unmistakable dip of a mattress as though someone has just sat beside them. The fresco room, once slept in by Benito Mussolini, is said to be the worst of it, where visitors describe an intense feeling of being watched. The disturbances were so relentless that a former owner reportedly refused to stay after nightfall, leaving every evening at exactly 6 p.m., abandoning the hotel to its watchmen and its ghosts. So this story is from castleofspirits.com. It's a personal account by Kate Mulhern in Florence, Italy, in June of 1998. I was 1 year old.
I was older than you.
It was a dark and stormy night. No, just kidding. It was actually a rather warm night after a bright sunny day in Florence, Italy. 20 students, including myself, were staying in a 17th century building that had become the Pensione Berchianti. The building has been owned by the Burchianti sisters since, well, a really long time ago. And some very notorious people have stayed here, like Mussolini. 4 women and I were all staying in the biggest and coolest room in the Burchianti.
Oh man, I'm jealous.
They're bougie.
And envious.
They're
They're
bougie. The one that Mussolini himself had actually stayed in, so the most haunted room.
Ooh.
Nice. Lucky
Lucky them. All the walls and the ceiling were frescoed, and it looked like the work had been done in the late 19th century. A cool room, no doubt, but a haunted room?
Yeah.
Well.
Ooh.
On the night in question, my roommates Linda, Emily, and Lorraine were all sitting around talking. Our room was the only one to contain a full bathroom with a shower, a sink, and a toilet.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
And
Sharing the toilets.
Sharing the toilets. And the bathroom had a door on it, which on the night was open. Emily's bed was next to the bathroom, and since she was facing out into the room talking to us, She couldn't see into the bathroom. Lorraine's and my view into the bathroom was blocked by a wardrobe, but Linda had a clear shot.
Listen, Linda.
We were all just talking about nothing when Linda looked into the bathroom and said rather nonchalantly, "Hey guys, I just saw a ghost." Naturally, I began to freak out. "You what?" I said. "I just saw a ghost in the bathroom. He peeked his head out of the bathroom door, looked over at me, then leaned back into the bathroom," said Linda with the same ease as before.
Linda's not scared.
She's not scared. She's seen a ghost or two, I'm betting. Did you see him out of the corner of your eye or something? Asked Lorraine. Nope. I was looking straight at him. Weird, huh? So what were we talking about? Continued Linda. Wait. You can't just say something like that and act like it's nothing. What did he look like? Did he look like a mean ghost or a nice ghost? I begged. So this poor person is like freaking out. Like, you just saw a ghost. We got to talk about this. And Linda's like, nah, cool, guys. It's fine. Well, it was definitely a Mel, though I can't tell you how I know that because I couldn't really make out any features on its face. So she got like, sometimes when you're experiencing ghosts, you get like a feminine or a masculine or like a general. You get some vibes. Some vibes, depending, yeah. He was pink and transparent and smallish.
Oh.
Yeah. It didn't look threatening at all. It just looked at us, then went back into the bathroom, offered Linda.
Just curious.
Just a curious little guy. Why aren't you freaking out about this? It's a ghost, for Christ's sake, I yelled. I think I attract ghosts or something because this sort of thing happens to me all the time.
Linda's not scared.
She's not scared.
She does not care.
She doesn't give any craps. It's really no big deal. It's just a ghost, Linda said. Oh, creepy. I cannot stay another minute in this room. Colleen will protect me, I stated, and ran out of the room. I entered the room in which Colleen and Marie were staying, finding Colleen and Marie sitting on their beds talking. I announced what Linda had just seen in our room, and Colleen and Marie sympathized with me being a little freaked out about it. That's fair. You know, began Colleen, that's really weird because I felt some strange things in this room too. Sometimes when it's just me in the room, I'll be lying on my bed in my journal facing the wall, and all of a sudden I'll feel the air shift in the room, as if someone has just walked into it. Then I'll feel the edge of my bed go down, as if someone has just sat down on it. I'll turn around, and there won't be anybody there.
Gross.
Eventually, we all went to bed. From then on, our time in the Burchianti took on a whole new air of mystery.
Uh-oh.
One night, at about 3 a.m., I woke up to a light, extremely cold breeze in my face. A breeze as light as someone's breath. I opened my eyes long enough to see that all the windows and doors were shut. One night, Linda awoke to an immense pressure on her chest, as if someone was sitting on it. It was such a pressure, Miss Marilyn.
You are like on one today, dude.
It was such a pressure that Linda was unable to breathe. On another afternoon, Colleen, Linda, and I were in our room talking, with Linda standing in the doorway and Colleen sitting on Linda's bed. All of a sudden, Linda turned around and looked out towards the hallway. Colleen asked us who was there, and Linda replied, very puzzled, that no one was there. Colleen swore that she had seen a shape appear next to Linda in the doorway, and Linda said she felt someone standing just behind and next to her. I, of course, freaked out again. This poor girl. Having her room.
This is not
her cup of tea. On our way to the Medici Palace, just outside of Florence, we decided to confront one of our professors who lives in the area and had been good friends with Signora Burchianti for many years. Is the Burchianti haunted? Marie asked. Of course. What a silly question.
That's
Replied
like
the professor.
That's not even something you need to ask.
You're like,
dum-dum.
Duh. We then prodded the professor to tell us about other things that had happened to students in the past who had stayed at the Burchianti. Well, most of the things happened in the frescoed room. That's the most haunted room in the Burchianti, began the professor. At this point, Michelle, another student, interjected. A couple of times when I've been taking a shower in my room, I've seen a shape moving around in the corner of my eye. But when I turn my head, the shape's not there anymore.
One of those.
One of those guys. Yes, the professor answered. Most of the sightings of ghosts have been out of the corner of people's eyes. That's usually how the the knitting woman. That's usually how they see her. Like, it looks like there's someone, like, rocking in the chair knitting, and then when they turn,
nothing.
nothing.
Is the chair still rocking, though?
It didn't specify. What was that?
There's just farted.
Oh my god, that was loud.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Anyway. Oh, it says it right here. There's that phantom maid who sometimes cleans people's rooms. Then there's a little child that people have seen walking up and down the hallways at night. There's also a ghost of a woman sitting in a chair knitting. One night, a woman who was a student of mine walked into her room, turned on her light, and looked at her sleeping roommate. Her roommate's head was pressed down into her pillow unnaturally hard, and on one side of her face was the indentation of another face, as if someone very heavy was laying on top of her, pressing
Oh,
their
I hate
face
it.
against hers.
Ew.
Except there was no one else in the room. The woman screamed to wake up her
Ugh.
roommate, and as soon as her roommate woke up, the indentation was gone. Signora Burchianti refuses to talk about the ghosts in the Pensione. She's very afraid of them, and that's why she won't stay there at night. She always has men staying there at night, never any woman, and never herself. If you've noticed, she's always out of there by 6 at night.
At night.
At night.
night.
Taking out the trash. At night. The Burchianti is a very haunted place. I'm surprised it's taken you this long to see and feel the ghosts there. The weird thing is, before Linda saw the ghost, I always felt perfectly comfortable sleeping in that room, always getting the best night's sleep I've ever had. One night, all of my roommates stayed in Siena for the night, and I stayed in the room by myself. I never felt uneasy, not for one moment. Bum bum. And then, that's the end of that one.
That's a good one.
It was a good one.
Mhm.
There's lots going on there.
There is. How
Spooky.
fun.
And then I just found a personal haunting from Florence, Italy by L Angelic Realm 888 on Reddit. This is the Lady of Florence encounter.
Ooh.
A few years ago, my wife and I went on a trip to Europe with another couple. One of the towns we stayed in for a couple of days was Florence. The fair city of Florence is subject for multiple books with its art, architecture, beauty, and history. So I will not get into that here. If you are fortunate enough to have been there, you will know what I am talking about. You would also know that you cannot take a step in the city without being a stone's throw away from something historic. And all that history is bound to have its fair share of paranormal history attached.
Marilyn. Sorry, she bit me.
Ugh.
She was done being
Petted.
Marilyn is on one today.
Sorry.
That's okay. On our first night in the historic part of the town, we stayed in one of the few modern hotels. This place had been completely built as a new structure, so there was nothing historic about it. But it did have a striking view of the Duomo, which is like a really cool cathedral. I've actually been there. There's a shit ton of pigeons around it. Yes. You have to, when you go inside, you have to like cover up and be like super modest. It's really beautiful. There's a statue in there, if I'm thinking of the right place, of it's like a skinned man like holding his skin over his shoulder. Ooh, pretty cool. There's bodies in there.
As there are. Yeah.
It's really, really cool. They let us like, our tour guide got us tickets to like go up on the roof and like look out.
Oh, that's
from the
cool.
top of the Duomo. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Anyway, sidetrack. We could only stay there one night due to room availability, but the staff was kind enough to book us a room in a hotel that was a few streets away. We walked over to the place, and it was this charming chateau-looking building. I don't know what else to call its design. I think that's the palazzos. I think that's what they're talking about. And it looked very, very old. We could not check in yet, but we asked the front desk to store our luggage so we could go sightseeing. While my friend was taking care of that, I walked around the lobby, which had an interesting display of art, items, and pictures from the hotel's history. A quick browse of display, and I quickly found out that the hotel had a rich history indeed. It had been the residence of a very wealthy family. Then it was a convent, a hospital, an insane asylum, a hospital again, and now a hotel.
Ooh, that is a very rich history.
It is a very rich history. I have seen enough Horror? Oh my gosh.
Horror films.
I've seen enough horror films to know that this is the premise where you know bad stuff is going to happen and you tell the characters to turn around and leave. However, I shrugged it off and decided not to tell my wife, who freaks out about things like that.
Okay, buddy.
We had a wonderful day and evening. We retired to our room, which was nice, by the way, and promptly fell asleep. I woke up around dawn, since I am a light sleeper and an early riser, and I could tell it was dawn because sunlight was trickling in from the edges of the window curtains. The room's window was at the very center of the wall, and from its left edge, there were around 5 feet of wall until the wall met the corner, where a floor-to-ceiling dresser stood. My wife normally sleeps later than I do, so when I wake up, I normally stay in bed while thinking about the upcoming day and anything and everything. And then that is when I saw her.
Ooh.
At the corner of the wall, between the window and the dresser, a foot off the ground, there was a lady dressed in all white. Floating in the air, she was not translucent, but she was not completely solid either. It's hard to describe her appearance. However, I could see her facial features. I could tell she had light hair and very fair skin. Her expression was truly kind and calming, with a warm, tender smile. There was no exchange of words, no movement or gestures, no telepathic messages. We just remained there a while, just staring at each other. It is important to mention that at no point I felt threatened or scared. Freaked out, definitely. My wife began stirring in bed next to me and eventually put her arm across my chest and began making light, half-asleep conversation. I did not break eye contact with the entity at all and began smiling back at her. Just one of those comfortable, sincere smiles. As my wife became more active, I said to her, "Don't look, but there's a woman in our room. She's floating. I think she's a ghost." My wife opened her eyes wide, all the mind fogginess running from her head. She stared at me for a few seconds, and then out of the corner of my eye, I could tell that she shut her eyes hard in an "I don't want to look that way." A few moments after that, the lady moved backwards and faded into the wall. She did not say goodbye or change expression. She just left. I told my wife she could look now, but she did not want to. I could tell she was praying. We went down for breakfast and told our friends the story, which they, of course, did not believe. I went to the front desk and told the person there what I had seen, and she asked me if I wanted to fill out a form about what I had seen. Apparently, it's not uncommon, but the experiences and the guests' reactions were very wide-ranging. And they figured out the years that most guests just wanted someone to listen to them, so they instituted the form so people would not talk about the encounters around other guests and just write them down. I chose not to write anything, and to this day I clearly remember the fondness of the smile of the lady of Florence. I would like to thank her for reaching out to me and being so kind.
Aw.
Yeah.
That one.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Very cute.
That was a really good one.
I do have one more.
Okay.
It's a short one. Okay. An Odd Happening in Florence, Italy by Rico on yourghoststories.com. In 2005, my oldest daughter was living in Florence while attending college at Kent State. She was there doing arts and fashion classes and lived there for about 6 months. My wife and I and my youngest daughter traveled to Florence to spend a couple of weeks with her and see the sights. It is quite possibly the most beautiful city I've ever encountered.
Oh, I want to go to there.
I also want to go to there. We'll go there and we'll stay at the haunted hotel.
All the haunted hotels.
All the haunted hotels.
All the haunted hotels.
One morning, the four of us were walking to pick up tickets for the Uffizi Gallery. At some point, the sidewalk narrowed to the point we could only walk in a single file. I was the last in line. All of a sudden, the first person in line stopped, turned, and looked backwards, and then the three of us behind in succession did the same. Something had run between our legs. Something invisible.
A cat?
It was the oddest thing. It didn't feel like wind. It felt like it had substance. I could feel it brush my legs as it ran through. It wasn't at all frightening to any of us, but very strange. Being an engineer, but not necessarily a skeptic, I began to search my mind for some sort of explanation. I looked to see if there was a sewer grate or a manhole or anything near. There wasn't. We discussed it to this day. We all remember how unexplainably weird it was. Like an invisible dog or something. I still think about it. Perhaps it was some sort of magnetic field caused somehow from underground electric cables.
Sure.
I don't know.
That one. That's, yup.
I've wanted to post this for some years now, and I'm finally getting around to it. Perhaps someone else has experienced the same phenomenon.
I have.
Ooh.
At the Whitmore Mansion.
At the Whitmore. That's right. Yes. Perhaps someone else has experienced... Oh, I just read that. I do know that Florence is reputably haunted by all manner of spirits, and that it is an ancient city, possibly built on Etruscan.
I went through
ruins.
an Etruscan hyperfixation phase after I went to a museum.
As you do.
That was featuring the Etruscans at that point.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
They were awesome.
Perhaps all the ancient stone in history still harbors some kind of energy from the past. Shades and movements that occasionally, under the right circumstances, reveal themselves to us. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh,
Thanks, Rico.
that
was a good one.
Does everyone go through like an Egypt phase where they're like obsessed with Egypt, and then like certain country phases that you don't?
I did that.
Yeah, or
Yes.
ancient civilization that is no longer there.
Yeah.
So I went through a very huge Egypt phase. I'm still kind of obsessed with Egypt.
My friend and I learned some hieroglyphics and tried to write in code with them.
That's what we did with the Etruscan alphabet. We made a little key and everything. I laminated it. We made a club. There was a flag that I sewed lace around. I know. It was intense.
Look at you go. Yay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was cool, you guys.
Girl, same. I was the coolest.
And it was in 4th or 5th grade.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That's about when mine was.
Oh,
yeah.
We're the same person.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Palazzo Dario. I have a question for you all. Would you buy a cursed property?
Maybe. I'd consider it.
Your first thought might be, hell no. Or it might be, why not? If I get a deal, then I would. I don't believe in curses. Ha ha ha. This particular property has been newly renovated as it hasn't been inhabited since the early 2000s. The Palazzo Dario has 9 bedrooms, Gothic archways, oh my god, and this hand-blown Murano chandeliers.
I want to go to this
palazzo. They are stunning. I had to Google them when I was researching this. They have some on Etsy for just $2,400 for a little guy.
Baby.
Yeah. It is as beautiful as some of its past owners' deaths are gruesome.
Ooh.
Yes. And an article written for Atlas Obscura by Melanie Zulu titled Palazzo Dario. Those who own or stay at this 500-year-old allegedly cursed home often meet terrible fates. Yes, this 500-year-old Venetian Gothic palace, also known as the Sa Dario, has claimed a host of unlucky victims, including the rich and famous. It's true.
It's true.
It's true. Documented truth. It's said that the people who owned the building or stayed there for more than 20 days died.
Oh, snap.
That might be a little bit of the local people peppering some spiciness into the lore. Yes. They died, committed murder, or became bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Even
one of these things is not like the others.
But the bankrupt ruined them, and they had to pass the palazzo on, is usually what happened.
Yeah.
So it changed owners. Even local fishermen don't dare cast their ropes by the cursed palazzo, which has been dubbed the house that kills. Bum, bum, bum. The house was built in 1479 for aristocrat Giovanni Dario, his daughter Marietta, and her husband Vincenzo later inherited the house. Vincenzo was stabbed to death.
Oof.
Sweet.
R.I.P. bud.
Yeah, I think that the man who actually built the house, he lived a long life. So it's like after him that everybody gets booked.
What if it's him? What if it's him?
He's like, ain't nobody gonna have
This is my house.
No how. No way. Okay. And Marietta died by suicide in the Grand Canal not long after. There are some conflicting reports. Some people say it wasn't necessarily suicide, but it was possibly suicide. But it could have been an accident as well.
Okay. So a mysterious death.
Mysterious drowning. That's not funny. Don't laugh. Sorry, in my head, I'm like, oh, mysterious. I'm not laughing at someone's drowning, okay? God, Shandi. Okay, here we go. Shortly after these tragedies, their son Vincenzo Jr. was killed in Crete by assassins.
Ooh.
I don't know why assassins were after him. It didn't say.
What did he do?
I don't know.
Or what didn't he do?
I don't know. The cursed house claimed another victim when British scientist Randon Brown became its owner. After having the house for only 4 years, he suffered financial difficulties, and his romantic relationship with another man was discovered. The scandal affected him so much that in 1842 he died by suicide in the palace with his partner. Some speculate that the deaths were a murder-suicide.
Dang.
I know, that's heartbreaking. Charles Briggs, an American millionaire, met a similar end. After purchasing the palazzo, he was accused of being gay and fled to Mexico, where his lover died by suicide. The property then remained empty for
This is starting to feel like hate crimes.
Yes. I mean, this is the times where you would arrange a lavender marriage with a nice lesbian so that people would leave you two alone and you could, like, have your lovers on the side. So that you wouldn't get persecuted. Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. These mysterious circumstances are
and it's all suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no articles claimed that, surprisingly. We're side-eyeing you.
Side-eyed.
Okay. The property then remained empty for the first half of the 20th century. In 1964, the world-famous operatic tenor Mario del Monaco, entered negotiations to buy the property. However, on his way to Venice to sign the contract, he was involved in a serious car accident that made him rethink his decision to buy the building.
Oh, dang.
The universe is like, here's your sign.
Don't do it.
Then in the 1970s, the Count of Turin, Filippo Giordano della Lans, bought Palazzo Dario and was murdered by his lover, Raoul Bleich, who later died a violent death after fleeing to London. Kit Lambert, manager of The Who, bought the palace, but it's said he used to stay in a hotel nearby to escape the many ghosts he claimed infested it. But I couldn't find any, like, ghost stories. It was dumb. I couldn't find one actual ghost story about this place, just the curse.
Just the curse.
Yeah. So, The Who, the manager of The Who, and they said that this palace, like, caused his ruin because he got super into drugs and it financially ruined him, and then he lost the palazzo. In the 1980s, Venetian businessman Fabrizio Ferrari, bought the house and moved there with his sister Nicoletta.
I love that name.
I do too.
Nicoletta.
He later lost all his assets and his sister died in a car crash. Bam. Later, that same decade, did she happen to be gay? The financier Raul Giardini bought the palace, aiming to give it to his daughter. Oh no. But after a series of economic setbacks and scandal, he died by suicide in 1993. At the turn of the 21st century, Woody Allen considered buying Palazzo Dario, but changed his mind allegedly after reading about all the strange and tragic deaths connected to the house. As recently as 2002, The Who's original bass player, John Entwistle, so another Who band member, I guess that was their manager, not a band member. Anyway.
Someone associated with the Who.
He suffered a heart attack a week after renting the palace.
And not the World Health Organization, the band.
Yeah, the band The Who.
The Who.
Some locals believe the cause of the curse may be the fact that the building was constructed over an old Templar cemetery, which, due to a settling of the foundation, makes the structure visibly tilt to the right.
Oh, shit.
End quote. Atlas
End
Obscura.
quote.
End quote. This possibly cursed property is on the market for a cool $23,706,000 hairs.
Whew.
I will never have to worry if I can buy this, because if I have $23 million, I am not spending it on a palazzo.
We
That's
are
just-
homing all the homeless
Yes.
black cats and feeding all the people that need food.
And giving medicine
If we
to
have
people
that
who
kind
need
of
medicine.
money,
Yeah. I will never have $23 million because I'll need to help people and
Mhm.
cats and dogs
Mhm.
and other animals.
Mhm.
Anyway,
And
but
go to the ocean sometimes.
yes, have a small, cheap-ass hut on the beach. A beach hut. A beach hut.
Beach
But
hut.
if that's your thing and you want to take care of old buildings, I love that for you.
Do it.
Yeah, because I love old buildings and I don't want to
Mhm.
see them neglected
Destroyed.
and destroyed either. So, I mean,
Because
someone...
history is also important.
Yes, so someone has to buy it. It just, we'll never have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We'll never have to worry about this curse. Let's see. The property company reassures us all. I don't want to say their name because I don't want to cease and desist. Reassures us all that the house has had many residents that have not met an untimely demise, which is true. It's been around for 500 years. But what do you think? Is the Palazzo Dario cursed? Or after being around for 500 years, there is bound to be some interesting history within its walls and is perfectly safe to purchase?
I think it's ghosts and hate crimes.
Yeah,
Ghosts
I
and
can
hate
see that. On
crimes.
people's own ruin.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
Because
this,
you
there
said
was drugs. Yep, drugs
Mhm.
and just bad financial decisions. Just being gay.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Fortunately.
Yeah. The world has not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
would you guys live there or rent it or stay there?
I would stay there,
Yes.
I think. I wouldn't live there because it costs 20
I'd
mil.
stay there, yeah.
Like 20 plus
Yeah.
million.
Yeah, we can't buy it, but we might stay a night if it is ever a
Sure.
hotel. It's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful.
Italy really is just like such a pretty
Oh,
place.
I hope
Sorry,
to
Craig,
see...
what did you say?
oh, I said it's so good, like Italy.
Oh,
like
yeah,
so pretty.
yeah.
Mm.
I hope to see Italy one day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, guys, we have socials.
we do have
we
socials.
do.
We're on everything at Seance with My Siblings.
Craig, tell them about our email.
Our email is seancewithmysiblings@gmail.com, where you can send us your ghost stories about Italy and
Mhm.
everything, and ghost pics, and all the horrors. Send
All
them
the
to us.
horrors.
Yes.
If you want to see the brother that my friend Daphne thinks is gorgeous, then you can see our
Oh,
sweet
ah.
faces on our TikToks.
Yeah,
and,
Mhm.
Craig.
That's hilarious.
and on Instagram. All the
And
places
yeah.
we can
TikTok,
post video and
All the
pictures.
places. Go like Craig's
YouTube.
TikTok video because the algorithm did it dirty and it's actually really funny.
It is really funny, and the algorithm definitely just effed it on over.
The algorithm
Mhm.
is broken.
It did get like 1,000+ views on the YouTube though, which we are on.
We are on
We're
the
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
You can watch this. This is a video podcast.
Yeah, you can watch me stare blankly every now and then remember like, oh, I'm on camera.
You can watch me itching my face and be like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that. But my face really itches. Ah.
Okay,
Same.
the end.
The end.
You've been Seance.
The end.
You've been
You
officially
have been
seance.
famous.
Arrivederci.
Bye-bye now.
Arrivederci.
Goodbye from the Seance.
End.